What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video, another day, another dollar. We're going to be breaking down our futures contract per usual. Right now, we're looking at our 30-minute time frame. We're going to go over our 30-minute, just kind of review it briefly, mark our destinations, and then look at our daily. There's not a whole lot to review today. Basically closed, unchanged, inside day, and but on the positive side, buyers and the bulls stayed in the upper distribution for the most part. We closed in the upper distribution that I was discussing in yesterday's video. It looked like it was going to be a pretty grim opening. It looked like we might take back, we did take back majority of the trend day from yesterday. Remember, yesterday was a triple distribution day. Let me re-highlight these distributions for you guys real quick. And those distributions were identified via the single prints, right? So with that, these were the distributions that I'm highlighting currently, okay? So this was the upper distribution, right? From 4803.25 down to 4789.50 was the upper distribution. The middle distribution was 4772.50 down to 4754.25, and then 4752.75 down to the low of day at 4738. So opening up in the lower distribution, basically, this morning, we took back majority of the single prints. We opened below the price probe, opened below these two sets of single prints that we had, and then even took back the third set right here, right? We had three sets going to the upside. We took those back. And a lot of times, it's something to lean on the day of, right? You want to be able to buy on pullbacks. It gives you confirmation to buy on those pullbacks whenever you do have these sets of single prints. But opening below them, they aren't as they're not as much to lean against, right? It's not anything, right? They automatically get filled on the pullback. But one of the scenarios that I described in yesterday's video kind of played out. I was saying that if we did end up opening up in the upper distribution, pulling back, and then rejecting out of the lower distribution, we might get some chop in between where those single prints were in yesterday's session, right? But we kind of did that. We opened up in the low, or just above the middle distribution, and we immediately rejected out of it. We got the overnight low, which was something that the sellers had right out the gate. But other than that, this market, you got to think about the bigger the larger context of the market as a whole, right? The monthly is healthy. It's one time framing up. The weekly just came back into a balance after a 9-week run to the upside. And then the daily, after all the short covering that we had yesterday, still very strong as we've come back into a balance from one time framing down. So there's still an underlying bid from all of these sellers right here, right? All the sellers that got trapped down here. If they didn't cover yesterday, they definitely had an opportunity to cover this morning when we opened up in that middle distribution. All right. So, and then obviously gave other buyers an opportunity to step into this market and run it up, right? So that's kind of what happened. That's kind of what the price action was today in a nutshell. The reason why we moved up, right? We could not find acceptance in that middle distribution. Had we found acceptance in that middle distribution, the day might have been slightly different, right? But we go out with an inside day and a double distribution day. Oh, never mind. Not a double distribution. Excuse me. We ended up filling the set of single prints late in M period. We actually had two sets of single prints going to the upside. We eventually did fill those. But let me get rid of all these destinations real quick. I said in yesterday's video that we definitely wanted to open up in the upper distribution. The most positive thing would have been to open above 96 or 89.50, okay? We definitely wanted to open up above that in order to take out the 4803 level, find acceptance above 4800, and start one time framing up on the daily to go and get the weekly high, weekly balance high at 4839.75, the all-time high, right? We kind of didn't necessarily do that, but we still ended up positive for the day, just closing within that upper distribution from yesterday. So I'm gonna get rid of all these upside destinations. We did end up hitting all those on the way down, but once they got deleted, pretty much the only upside destination that you had to rely on was 4803. And because of that, it's kind of where I decided to get involved in the market, right? I'd seen that we rejected out of the middle distribution here. Seen that we rejected out of there. And then we began to one time frame up in the 30-minute time frame after one time framing up, right? So B took out A's high. We immediately start to one time frame up. Now you have your initial balance established, right? Remember, your initial balance is going to be your first two 30-minute time frame high and low, or the first hour of trading, right? And typically, whichever way you take out, the market just tends to go in that direction. So you can see right here, we had the initial balance, the IB set. C period couldn't quite get it, but look at how C period pulled back, could not get back to the open, and could not take out B's low. If the market was really weak, if the sellers were stepping into this market, you would have seen us take out the open, you would have seen us take out B's low, and then we would have began to one time frame down, taking out the initial balance low, and then finding acceptance in that middle distribution. But that was not the case. Buyers were still very strong. So we held the open in C period. D period opens up, couldn't take out C's low, and then boom, we take out the initial balance high, continue to one time frame up, and then we did that for the next several time frames until we had a reversal bar here in, was it A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. In H period, we had a reversal bar. And then where I decided to get involved was on the pullback here. I wasn't expecting us to have a reversal bar. So I got long a 5 lot at 96. Okay, 5 lot MES around 96. We continued to pull back, and I added on to my position as we came into the set of single prints. Now keep in mind, we did have a double distribution. We had a set of single prints right here before they got filled late in the day, and then we had a set of single prints right in this range before they got filled in I period. Okay, so I was looking to get long against those set of single prints, and then maybe resume our way back up to the 4,800 level, which we eventually did, but it took a minute. I wasn't expecting this market to dump, but I was cautious of it, right? Because we still had an inside day, value basically unchanged for the day. So that's what I was looking for. So got long 96, continued to pull back, added on 90, and then I added on 86. Okay, so I had a total of 15 MES contracts, average price right around 91, I do believe is what it was. It was either 91 or 89. Hold on. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to tell. No, it won't tell me. But anyway, it pushed up to 95 or 96, and I was not, at the time, the 144 simple moving average on our 1 minute chart was right around that area. So I was like, if we can't get above the 144 simple moving average, or maybe that's just a target and then we roll back over, because at the time we still had point of control being developed, and point of control could have easily been moved down and then began to develop around A's low at 76, right? Because we were already forward wide there. So this market could have easily pulled back to 76 and created a wider point of control at that point. So being cautious, wanted to take my profits, took it out at 96, right around that 144 simple moving average. My ultimate target was 4,800, but I just did not know if the market wanted to push back up, especially after taking back one set of the single prints, but holding the other. If I had been more patient, I definitely would have been better, or had a better trade had I taken a full size trade around the 85, 86 level to rotate back up to around that 96 level. And I would have made 10 points. Either way, I made good money on it, $350 to sit in the trade and not really have to do anything, as it did pop back up for me. Other than that, that was the only trade on the day. Ended up 8 wide, not a whole lot there as far as something to really mark. We did stretch our balance high. Okay, we took it out by 3 ticks to the upside. Our daily balance high is stretched. So there are 3 rules when it comes to balance. You got to keep in mind, right? There are 3 rules. So one of the rules is going to be you get near balance high and roll over. Okay, so you get near balance high, fail to take it out, and you roll back over, and then you visit the other side of the balance. Or you do the second rule, which is you get near balance high, or either side, balance high, balance low, both work. But the second rule is you get near balance high, push through it and stretch it, and then roll back over, and then you go and test the other side of that balance. Or the third rule being you push to, through, and away from that balance high or balance low, whichever way the market is trying to go. Since the market's trying to go up, in our case, it is the balance high that we are trying to take out and push through. So today we just experienced the second rule, which is we stretched our balance high being at 48.04. So we're going to treat today as an inside day, which means tomorrow when the trading day comes, if we open up, let's say we open above 95 or 90 let me think. Yeah, I think it'd be more positive if we open above 85. Let's just say 85. We open above 85 tomorrow. If we open above 85 tomorrow, we want to take out 48.04, today's high, and then get some good extension to the upside, right? So you want to, whenever you're coming out of an inside day, you want to monitor it for continuation or lack of continuation, okay? So continuation would mean we take out 48.04 and we start one-time framing with single prints, and then we attack these other destinations to the upside, 48.23, 48.27, where the single prints fill, and then we get that other daily high at 48.35, then 39.75 weekly balance high. And if you took today's range and stacked it on top of it, right? If we were to take out, the expected move could look something like that, right? We could get easily, if we took today's exact same range and had that to the upside, we could easily get 48.39.75. So that would be continuation tomorrow. Lack of would be taking it out, right? Maybe getting up to just missing 48.23 and then rolling back over and then closing back inside of today's range. That would be a lack of continuation, or even just taking it out, getting up to 48.15, rolling back over, or just, whatever the case, but coming back inside and closing inside of today's range would be the lack of. So that being said, let's go ahead and mark our low and our high here, and then look at our daily just briefly, and then get you guys out of here. So we're going to go ahead and mark our low of day here. Low of day. And I'm still in my SPY calls. I did not sell, have not sold them. Don't plan on it unless we begin to one time frame down on the daily, or we hit my target, which is the weekly balance high. That would be when I decide to get out of the trade. But right now, there's nothing telling me I should get out of the trade from a larger perspective. Daily, still in a balance, looking to come out of it to the upside. Until we come out of this balance to the downside or to the upside and take out the high that I'm looking for, then and only then will I get out of the position. All right, so 48.04, today's high. Let's go ahead and mark that bad boy. We're just going to move it up. And then we got to update our balance high on the daily time frame. So upside destinations, 48.04, then 48.23, 27, 35, 39.75. Downside destinations, okay? We have no afternoon pullback low. Nothing to really lean against. So if tomorrow we cannot take out today's high, we roll over, we could easily take out today's low, 47.67.50, excuse me. And then you'll go and target the lower distribution down here, which starts at 47.52.75, where that small set of single prints from B period yesterday is located. And then after that, 47.38, and then your balance low, 47.19.75, will be the target on the downside. So in that case, we would be exhibiting the second roll of balance rolls, which would be to roll over and then test the other end of that balance. Buyers do not want to see that. Buyers want to open up and push. Now, we do have economic data coming out. We have, I believe, CPI or PPI, one of the two coming out tomorrow. Bunch of junk. Really doesn't matter, but to the market for some reason it can cause some pretty good volatility. So we'll have that come out tomorrow, and so in that case, you just want to have your hard hat on. All right, now our daily. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. And if you have made it to this far, you're a trooper. I do appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Here is our balance, okay? Second day, we've closed above the 20-day moving average, okay? Like I said, 1 day does not make a market. 2 days does not make a market. We need to find acceptance above the 47.76 level, basically. our 20-day moving average. If we do that, getting above and staying above 4,800 should be no problem. We got to update this to 04. There's our balance high. So looking to come out of this balance tomorrow, right? We either want to come out of it, all right, get a little something like this. Maybe not as dramatic, but you get my idea, right? You want to see us come out of it, or for the seller's sake, sellers want to see us maybe not take it out, right? We get there, can't take it out, and then come down, right? It's more or less what you want to see, and then eventually come down and, you know, maybe get a little something like that and then test the lows. Maybe not as dramatic, but you get the idea, right? So that would mean closing back below the 20-day moving average and then taking out yesterday's low and closing in that lower distribution from Monday. Okay, so there you guys have it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.